hard to think of a simpler yet more versatile and effective woodworking tool than the cabinet scraper. A thin sheet of spring steel used for everything from scraping glue to coaxing a high-gloss finish from lacquer or shellac. Mostly it's known for its rather remarkable ability to leave a glass-smooth finish on very difficult wood grains, even knots, without tearing out. The secret is a microscopic hook-shaped burr burnished along the scraper's edge. In fact, scraper is really a misnomer. Microplane would be more accurate, because the burr on a properly sharpened scraper actually slices, lifts, and curls a continuous shaving, much like a plane, but on a scale so small that tear-out is virtually eliminated. But even though the concept is simple, many woodworkers continue to be frustrated in their attempts to form a microplaning burr. The tool you saw demonstrated at the opening is Timberline Tools' new scraper burnisher, the Model SB1. It's designed to burnish a microplaning burr quickly, easily, and reliably on a wide variety of scraper sizes, shapes, and thicknesses. I'm Jim Williams, owner of Timberline Tool. I'd like to show you how the Model SB1 can turn this simple piece of steel into a fine woodworking tool. Just as a really sharp knife, chisel, or plane blade is finely honed and highly polished on both sides of its cutting edge, the burr on a well-sharpened scraper will have a mirror finish burnished on the inside and outside of a well-formed burr. Here's how it's done. Generally, there are 3 stages to sharpening a scraper. A new scraper, or one with a worn-down burr, must first have its edge squared off with a file, followed by honing the edge and faces. Next, the burnisher is used to draw out a burr. At the same time, it also rubs a mirror finish along the top face of the edge. This narrow band of polished surface will later become the inner face of the burr's cutting edge. In the final step, the burnisher rolls back the drawn-out burr, reshaping it as it polishes the outside of the cutting edge. This is known as turning the hook. These last 2 steps, drawing out a burr and turning the hook, also serve to work harden the tip of the hook slightly. The result is a sharp, hard, but somewhat brittle cutting edge supported by tougher, less brittle steel beneath. Much like a bimetal chisel combines the best properties of 2 steels. To find out how the SB1 creates that microplaning edge, let's take a closer look at the 3-step process. The joining and honing steps used to square the edge can be speeded up considerably with the simple shop-made guide block shown on the measured drawing on the back page of the instruction sheet. To joint the edge, hand clamp an 8 or 10-inch single-cut mill file to the guide block and draw the scraper against the edge several times until the action is smooth and the edge is straight. Outside curves and shapes are jointed in much the same way by rotating the scraper as it is drawn along the file. Inside curves are filed with round or shaped files. The edge and faces are then honed to remove any serrations or burrs left from filing. The guide block keeps the scraper perpendicular to the stone. I'm honing at an angle here to prevent grooving the stone, which would not only damage it, but would also dull the scraper's edge. This is a dry ceramic stone, but a fine hard oil or water stone will work just as well. Both faces are then honed using the guide block to apply pressure evenly along the scraper edge. When the edge is square, free of defects and clean, we're ready to draw out a burr and turn the hook. And that's where the SB1 comes in. A drop of machine oil on the pin helps to reduce the inevitable wear that happens when steel meets steel. To draw out a burr, hold the scraper firmly down on a sturdy bench or table back about 1/8 of an inch from the edge. Then starting at the far corner, bear down with light to moderate pressure and draw out a burr all along the edge with 1 or 2 smooth, continuous strokes. The burnisher should be level while pressure is concentrated along the scraper's edge. The bevel glides along the edge of the bench to position the pin at just the right angle to draw out a burr smoothly and burnish a high polish along a narrow band near the edge. Shift the scraper out beyond the bench and capture the scraper in the alignment slot with the edge almost touching the back of the alignment slot. To turn the hook, hold the burnisher level, press the pin sideways against the scraper edge, and roll back the burr in one steady continuous stroke. It's hard to say just how much pressure is needed for a good hook. It's less than you might think. Once you've gotten calibrated, try to turn the hook with just 1 or 2 steady strokes. Curved or specially shaped scrapers are burnished in a similar fashion. A final cleaning and we're ready to microplane. Wear eventually takes its toll and you'll need to rework the edge. How soon is difficult to predict, but usually the edge can be restored up to 4 or 5 times without having to rejoint or rehone the edge. Just draw out a burr and turn the hook. When this no longer gives a satisfactory edge, you'll have to start over at the squaring the edge step.